Out of nowhere question of the week. Let's go into my tag team partner, Mr. Nitram. What's going on, bro?
What's going on, brother?
Chilling. Sir, time and time, we've heard you say 3 hours is too long. 3 hours is too long. I can't stay up for the main event, and I want to watch the main event. And sometimes the main event is ass.
Mm-hmm.
This past Wednesday, AEW 4-hour show. Was that too much?
The main event was ass. It was, man. But I'm also glad that was the main event, because if it would have been the Kenny match, I would have stood up for it. I would have been exhausted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We talked about this. We're so glad Kenny was in the middle of that card. You know what I mean? It was perfectly put. But oh man, it wasn't a bad match. Don't get me wrong. It just wasn't worth staying up for. The Paragon versus Daniel Garcia and whoever he was tagging with. I can't remember. But not only did it go 4 hours, bro, but Tony Khan really said, yo, this is for the sickos. Extended time. They got extended time on a 4-hour show. How do you go over on a 4-hour show? Who didn't plan this out?
Obviously creative.
Obviously creative. I mean, dang, 4-hour show with overtime, one real women's match. I mean, it was pretty pathetic on that end. But yeah, man, I told you straight up. I said once Tony Khan makes the announcement, which he didn't even do, Tony Schiavone did it, which was stupid. But I was like, once he makes that announcement, I'm going to bed. You know what I mean? I saw that match in the morning, and I'm glad I did fall asleep. So yeah, 4 hours, a little too long.
100%, dude. I remember texting you like, okay, if Kenny's not the main event, who is? And I was like, oh, Will Ospreay, Leo Rush. That'd be a great main event. Probably stay up for it because those guys would probably kill it in ring. And then you were like, nah, it's the 8-man tag. I said, I'm just going to stay up for this Tony Khan announcement, just like you said, and go to bed. And we didn't even get the announcement from Tony Khan. We got it from Tony Schiavone. That could have been a tweet. It could have been a promo package. It could have been anything.
It could have been a meme from
anything.
Tony Khan.
Yeah, it could have been anything but announcing it at 11:30 at night. You know what I mean? It could have been a whole lot of things. Well, at least you didn't stay up for the main event, and you still agreed that it was ass. They still got extended time. We got a lot to talk about. Stephanie Vaquer is making some history this weekend. I guess so is El Grande Americano, a.k.a. Well, I guess I'm not going to say Chad Gable, right? We had some releases. R-Truth, Carlito, we're going to speak about that. We're going to talk about Jey Uso and Gunther. Should they have been on Money in the Bank, or is it okay for next week on Raw? But before we get into anything, let's go ahead and start our show.
Four sides of the ring, four sides of the ring. Everybody out here got an opinion, your ego shall die in the ring. If the debate's getting heated, we heating, you know it's been fire in the ring. We them guys in the ring, leave with your pride in the sling. Four sides of the ring, four sides of the ring. Everybody out here got an opinion, your ego shall die in the ring. If the debate's getting heated, we heating, you know it's been fire in the ring. We them guys in the ring, leave with your pride in the sling. Four sides of the ring.
What is going on, Ringsiders? Your favorite faction is back. I am your host, Marcus Hernandez, the founder. And tonight I am with the one and only the one that makes you say, oh, damn, your favorite trivia host. We got to bring back 3-count trivia, as a matter of fact, now that I think about it. Championship culture has had those titles for way too long. We need a new tag team to come up and become trivia champions. We got to work on something. But you already know who I am with. I am with the principal of Hater University, the one and only Nit Ram. What's going on, my guy?
Hey, you was on summer break, but I don't stop what I do.
What was your graduation class this year? How many?
It was a solid 6. It was a solid 6, but we got so many applications coming in now that we're like, oh man, we might have to reject some of these people. So we look at these applications really closely, and Chano puts a question on there. He goes, where do you lie with Dom Mysterio? And it says, I love him. He's great, but I don't like him. I love him and don't like him. Or that's Rey Mysterio's son. And honestly, bro, there's only one answer. I can't tell you the answer, but if you check one of the 3 boxes incorrectly, Chano will not accept you.
Mm. I think I know the answer. I can't say it because obviously I don't want people to get free rides for no reason.
Can't get out these kind of scholarships.
You got to be the right hater to be in Hater University. We just don't accept any kind of hate. There's a line. There's a line. So
somebody just wrote on their thing that said I hate Trick, and I almost gave him a full scholarship. I was like, yo, that guy right there, full scholarship.
Oh man, before we get into our show, bro, did you see the news about Hazabula?
About what?
You know the wrestler Hazabula, the Japanese wrestler? You don't?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, this guy has been wrestling since 2002, give or take, right? 20 plus years. He's getting to retire. Now, in wrestling, you know how sometimes if someone is so great, I don't want to kill this character. This gimmick is just too cool, right? Doink the Clown, probably any luchador right now, right? Mystico or not Mystico, say Sin Cara. So there's a new Hazabula. And I might be saying his name wrong, but there's a new Hazabula. And this Hazabula is going to keep kayfabe since he's been around since 2002, he's going to keep that around. So we're supposed to believe that he is still this 65-year-old man who's doing 20-year-old man moves.
Yes.
Or I guess, maybe they'll go kayfabe and say this guy, just doesn't age or he won't age. But that's what they're going to do. They're going to keep the gimmick and character alive, somewhat like Doink the Clown.
We'll say Doink the Clown. La Parka.
Yeah.
La Parka does the same thing.
La Parka does the same thing. Well, there's a few different La Parkas, right? You have your AAA La Parka, and then you have the guy in the real family that created La Parka. But, when you own the rights to a name, you own the rights to a name. But yeah, that was the news. I thought that was it was interesting, and I thought I'm interested to see how he's going to keep up this 2002, like I've been wrestling since 2002 gimmick,
Mm-hmm.
But he wears a mask. Mask is always awesome. You should definitely check this out. This kid looks like he's about to become a star under this great gimmick. So everybody just check out New Japan Pro Wrestling because that's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting.
Do you remember when I was younger, I used to watch a lot of TNA, and you really liked the Suicide character?
Mm-hmm.
And it was the main thing for the video game. It was real cool. And we sat there and be like, that guy's awesome. And then they finally did the reveal, and it was Austin Aries. And me and you sat there and said, there's no way it was Austin Aries the whole time. Mm-hmm. And then TJP went out there and said, well, I was Suicide for a certain amount of months. I think that's good in wrestling. I think if you have multiple people being one person, but you're keeping it all as one character, for characters like that, you have to continue it. So if this guy becomes a legend, he wrestles another 60 years, and he's the legendary 122-year-old, Japanese wrestler, I think that's awesome. You know what I mean? It's just like things like that.
I think it works when you don't show the face of the wrestler itself, right? So when you have the face paint, like Doink the Clown, Suicide, which is a great shout. So yeah, when you don't show the face of the wrestler, it obviously works, right? Like you could keep Hologram probably alive forever. You could probably keep Axiom alive forever, as long as you don't show the faces of those wrestlers. So yeah, you're absolutely right, man. You're absolutely right. Other than that, man, we had some big news this week. Some sad news. One of our guys, our very own Puerto Rican, probably one of the best Puerto Rican wrestlers to step in the ring as well. You got to give that to Carlito. Was told that his contract is not getting renewed. He will just work the rest of his contract, and that would be it. So I doubt we'll see him. He's probably chilling at home. How do you feel about this Carlito release, or I'm not going to say release, this not renewing of his contract?
So I think two things of it. I can see why his contract wasn't renewed. Carlito's a big name. He probably honestly expects big money. But WWE didn't use him. WWE also had no plans for him. But he was hilarious backstage. He made the most of every minute he was given. An aspect, I like the Judgment Day stuff because Carlito did funny stuff. And now, we saw this Monday. I really didn't care for the Judgment Day stuff. Like, there was nothing funny happening in the background. And to me, that takes away. But I get why he's not resigned. I also get why he was signed in the first place, which was to keep him away from AEW. And I don't think that's a secret anymore. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things where it's like, you paid this man for 5 years and had no plans for him. but also like you didn't continue his legacy at all. Like Carlito didn't do anything. He should have been part of this John Cena tour. You know what I mean? Like he should have been somewhere mid-carding around, and instead he's just the butt of the joke for the Judgment Day. And it was fine. It worked for him. I'm not even taking that away from it. It generally just worked for him. But like, it's one of those things where it's bittersweet. I get why they didn't re-sign him. I get why he should have been re-signed. I think he has a Hall of Fame career. I think he'll be in the Hall of Fame in 3 or 4 years. So, give or take, he's a champion of Puerto Rico right now. So, Boricua.
100%. No, yeah. Obviously, you can see where it makes sense of telling Carlito, hey, we're going a different route, different direction, especially if you're TKO and you're trying to figure out what is professional wrestling still, right? You go and look at your roster and you go and look at who's getting paid what. And then, like you said, you go down this list of Judgment Day. They got six members, 7 members, 5 members. Why is one member, all these guys are wrestling, all these girls are wrestling. This one dude's just chilling backstage playing PS5. Why are we paying him to play PS5? You know what I mean? Why are we paying him to play our game? He could do that at home for free. So that definitely makes sense. I agree with you. I don't like the fact that Carlito didn't do much with his time back at the WWE. He was a great entertainment act, yes, of course. And I hope that while he was backstage, hopefully he was progressing some of the newer talent, the younger guys. And I think that maybe he was doing that. I could definitely see him in a producer role as well. But it sucks that it sucks that we didn't see him go for a title that he's won on multiple occasions, like the Intercontinental. Maybe even go and wrestle for the United States in the mid-card somewhere, because the dude can work. Dude still got it. Now, if he had an undisclosed injury that he didn't want to share, obviously that's personal information. We don't really know, but he did work some matches while he was there, So I agree with you. John Cena would have been a cool match because they obviously had a feud. So yeah, definitely sucks.
Carlito is literally.
Go ahead.
I think Carlito and Kevin Owens are the only 2 people to beat John Cena on their debuts. Kevin Owens' main roster and Carlito's actual debut, which is like a cool fact. Also, Carlito took the best spear from Braun Breaker this year. He had one of the most viewed highlights because that spear was insane.
That's true.
You know what I mean? But
that's true too.
What are you gonna do?
Another wrestler that really shocked everything. I mean, I think the wrestling world paused for a second. Everybody said, "Wait, what?" Our guy from Charlotte, North Carolina, Ron Killings, formerly known as R-Truth, also has told that his contract will not be extended, and he will be sitting at home until it is over. What was your thoughts when you first saw that headline?
Thought it was bullshit. Generally, bro, R-Truth has been in WWE for 17 consecutive years. 17 consecutive years. Do you know who the 2 people right now consecutively as a full-time member are active who are in that range?
Sheamus.
Nope.
Sheamus 16? 15?
Sheamus is underneath. So the next 2 tops is Randy Orton and The Miz. Well, it's actually The Miz and then Randy Orton. Yeah, you can count Cena, but Cena's not a full-time. And I believe Sheamus either had a break or there was something going on, but I'm talking about consecutively. When I saw that, I was like, so when you think about things like that, there's no loyalty when it comes to TKO because this is not WWE. I had to actually digest this. This is not WWE. WWE did not say we don't want R-Truth around. This is TKO, which is a business doing business things. They don't care about R-Truth because to them, R-Truth is a number on a paper. This is not WWE being like, oh, yeah, man, 17 years, that's cool. But we're talking when a TKO by them 3-4 years ago? 3?
Yeah.
2 years?
3?
Something like that?
I think 2.5. Yeah, 2.5.
So it's one of those things where you sit there and you really think, are these guys really safe? What is giving 17 years of your best career mean anything? And I made the running joke about PCO and how you should treat legends, but I generally mean this. This is not how you treat legends. R-Truth is somebody who embodies what professional wrestling entertainment is about. Because R-Truth is entertainment, but you put him in that ring and he professionally can wrestle circles around some of these young guys at 53 years old. The man has an age. He was in 2001 Royal Rumble. Looks exactly the same.
He's like he's like Tim Duncan, right? Mr. Fundamentals. Like this guy
Right.
can give you everything and anything if you ask him to. He doesn't say no, and he makes the best of it. He does stuff that, like you said, at his age, that is just incredible. Because you watch wrestlers at his age right now, and they can barely walk to the ring, let alone come down the
100%.
ramp. And here's a man who's healthy and who's, you know, if Chana was TKO, you already know R-Truth would have been gone the day Chana walked in.
Right.
You're 45, you're gone.
Chana would have said 53.
But like you said, I think that's something that I don't want to say that wrestling fans have to understand, because I know wrestling fans understand that TKO is truly a business. And like I said earlier, I just really think that they're still trying to figure out professional wrestling, right? And something tells me there's like a shift in the tide, and I don't know if they're going to try to make I don't know if they're going to try to make their show a professional wrestling show, right? Compete with their competitor. If that's where the best wrestle, and we are the number one wrestling show in the world, how come those best guys don't want to come here? How can we attract those guys to come here? Maybe you slice out that entertainment, you know? Because there's a couple guys. There's rumored the Miz, right? A couple entertainment guys that do entertainment that could do that and bring you to a next level and still give you great, safe matches. You know what I mean? I think if the Miz gets, could you imagine if the Miz gets cut? You'd probably go to you're driving down to Orlando. You're driving down to Orlando right now.
There's a lot of things I stand 10 toes down, and the Miz should be considered one of the top 10 of all time. I stand 10 toes down on that. So if the Miz was to get cut, not only would I be shocked, I'd be honestly disgusted.
Brandy's in the building. What's going on, Brandy?
What's going on, y'all?
There's a 2-man
Hey, y'all talking? Oh, I could go back.
We're chilling, brother. We're talking about the Carlito and R-Truth not getting their contracts extended. And
I heard what y'all talking about, and I think it's bullshit. I have to agree with Nitram on all of everything he said. It's all bullshit.
But
one of the best sports entertainers of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Like he said, the embodiment of sports entertainment, and y'all just let him go. They don't get the business. TKO does not get it.
But it's also like, let's think of somebody who dedicated their life to WWE, right? Natalya. Perfect example. Natalya, to me, is one of the greatest females to ever. She should be on the Mount Rushmore for female talents because of everything she's done in her career. She's wrestled through 3 different types of women's wrestling, which is insane.
Mm-hmm.
She generally starts the next generation. She constantly is training people. But if this is a business, and I'm looking at a paper and I'm saying, well, we haven't put Natalya on TV since December 2024, what are we paying her for? Why are we paying her so she can go wrestle at GCW? Why am I paying her 3 Evolve Talents paychecks for her to show up 1 week on Evolve?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Can I answer?
It's
all right. If I'm Triple H, because bosses, if I let go of Natalya, who's going to train every younger woman that I bring in through Evolve and NXT? Who's going to step up when I need somebody to do something at a veteran status? Who is going to do these things and be okay with it and put a smile on their face without giving us a problem because they are happy to be here?
Okay, and I'm TKO. We have trainers for that. We have a performance center. We have multiple outlets. We have actual trainers. If you want her to be a trainer, put her on a different contract, but she should not be getting paid blank amount to do this. And it's not, it's not, I don't care about her loyalty because once again, this is not WWE, this is TKO.
That's just looking at it from a number standpoint. Because we know in wrestling that like the one rule in wrestling is your job is not just to wrestle. Like you gotta do everything. Like the rule in Japan is you don't leave till the ring is done. Things like that show like that wrestlers aren't just wrestling. They're doing everything from training to building stuff. So they're all on staff to get paid to do everything. And that's one of the things is to train and be one of the what was her name? The boat.
Best of all time.
I mean, to be honest, if she can make Maxine Dupree in-ring phenomenal, she might just be the greatest woman wrestler of all time.
I mean, it's been like 3 years since she hasn't, so I mean.
But you guys seen the report that John Cena's the one that requested the R-Truth match to prove to them that R-Truth was worth everything
Yeah.
that pretty much they were paying.
Yeah, and you know what that told me? TKO said, "I don't give a fuck what you think, John Cena."
We're gonna have
Basically.
TKO not even said that. They said, "Oh, you think John Cena's gonna be your last match, bro? No, we want you to go out there and lose to JC Mateo of all people, and that's your last match on WWE programming."
And you get squashed.
No one saw it.
Would you have been okay with it if the last match was Cena?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I wish they would have marketed it as such. Like, there's
That's
no
true,
reason
too.
why R-Truth is wearing a shirt that says the last time is now, and you don't
Mhm.
market it as the last time. It's so weird. You
And
should have
what's
just did a retirement match.
what's crazy
But
is
I
I told
guess
NetRam that. I
because,
told NetRam it should be a title for career match because
but it
that
makes
would make
sense that
sense.
if he was lobbying for him to continue to be signed, so you wouldn't run that story
Right. So you won't run that
because
story,
you're
right?
lobbying. Yeah, like because
Right.
so it's like it's kind of productive. It's kind of weird. It's a weird predicament because you're trying to keep his job.
Yes, it sucks. It sucks that these two talents who just thought they were chilling, you know what I mean, and they want to do more, but they're being told that they can't do more, and then now they're being told, "Hey, we're not gonna extend you." But hey, at least there's no 90 days, right? As soon as you're released, free agent, you go do what you need to go do, continue to make your money and do your things. So our truth, Mr. Ron Killings, Carlito, we hope nothing but the best for both of you, wherever you decide to go in all your future endeavors. We do hope to see you still in the sport of professional wrestling because you have fans who want to see you, who love to see you, and just wants to see you guys stride and do great things. You know who's doing great things, fellas? Stephanie Vaquer. She's killing the game, man. She is killing it, killing it, killing it. I think this is probably one of the best debuts runs for a rookie woman in a long time, probably since the Four Horsewoman. You know what I mean? This is real big. Her and Julia have been killing it. She got moved up to the main roster. She's on Raw, and now she's making more history. First two-time champion on NXT, and she's going to be doing 2 PLEs on Saturday. We're going to get into those Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank. So she'll go from Mexico, fly all the way out to Los Angeles.
It's in LA.
No, they're both in LA.
It's in LA.
Oh, they're both in LA?
I
Yeah.
also made the same
Oh,
mistake.
I'm sorry.
AEW shows in Mexico.
Grand Slam's in Mexico.
Yeah.
Backlash was supposed to be in Mexico, but that didn't happen. So, but yes, in LA, like I should just drive and sit in traffic for the 15 hours, or she might fly. I think they fly in LA; it's faster, so you don't have to sit in 15-hour traffic. She's also doing that, and I guess you could say Chad Gable too, or Grande Americano. But since they're two different people, I guess Chad is not making history, even though technically he kind of is. Did you guys peep?
Oh, brother.
Did y'all peep? Somebody share that picture of the tattoo, and then they're like, "Oh, I'm confused now," and it's just like, "Come on,
It's gone.
it up." Yeah, because it's gone. But how you guys feeling about Stephanie Vaquer? Just her presentation right now with WWE, Brennan?
It's been absolutely amazing. Like they have put a rocket on this girl's back, and let's be honest, she's worth it. She's worth the push. She's worth the energy they're putting into it. I mean, we're all hooked. She's seamless. She could ball with anybody, and it's been showing. She's been with development with the main roster, with triple threat matches. It doesn't matter. You put her in something, and she's cooking. So I think this Saturday is going to be awesome for her. She's going to have a great match in Worlds Collide. It's going to be a different style match than what we're used to, which is awesome because she gets to show both sides of her, the WWE side and the Worlds Collide, the Luchador side. But yeah, I will say that it's there. I believe they're right across the street from each other. It's the Intuit Dome and the Kia Forum, which I believe are right across the street.
Yeah, I think they are right across the street from each other.
Yeah.
Nimrod, how you feeling about the Stephanie Vaquer presentation so far with WWE?
I think they wanted to tell me she's the next big thing, and that's exactly what they're telling me. I do think she's getting everything handed to her really fast. And I say handed very loosely. Obviously, nothing's being handed to her. She is a star. But it's one of those things where it's like she came in North American champion. She came in, now she's 2 champion. She vanquishes the North American. She immediately loses the NXT title. She immediately gets called up. She's immediately in Money in the Bank. They constantly are handing her everything. She's doing 2 shows. Because I remember when I saw the qualifier match, I said, oh, this is going to live, right? Because they're not going to have Stephanie do 2 shows. No, she's doing 2 shows. 2 PLEs in one time. That's history. 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 2 PLEs in
Mhm.
You know, it's something like they keep handing her everything so early on that I feel like eventually she's gonna keep doing stuff and it's not gonna be impressive.
I don't know. I don't, I'm not going to say it's not going to be impressive. I think
Are you impressed with Charlotte Flair's 14 title runs at this point?
I mean, she's Charlotte Flair.
But are we impressed that she has 14 title reigns? No, because most of them came early in her career.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be the same though. I think it's
I
going to
don't
be a lot different.
Oh yeah, she's
I
not going to
don't
be a 14-time champ.
No, that part too, but I just think like there's going to be moments of struggle and stuff. It's not going to be all cake. I
yeah,
think like right now we're just watching her run through the development and then run through the mid card, and then once she gets to that title, watch she's probably not going to win that title right away.
yeah, I don't even think she's winning it at Money in the Bank. I think this is just a great
I don't either.
opportunity for her
Yeah,
to
no,
I think what they're trying to do is show her like, hey, we know you were on NXT, but look what we're offering still. You know what I mean? Like there's still a bigger picture for everything because you have to remember last year she was wrestling in front of what the 45,000 Brandy. You know what I mean? With Mercedes Moné, we were in the building. You know what I mean? To wrestling in front of 2,000, to wrestling in front of 1,000. Now she's she's main roster. She's going to do bigger things. So I think this is just WWE showing her like, hey, like we understand that and we're grateful that you decided to go to NXT and help elevate and show everybody, showcase yourself.
11,000.
11,000. Okay, I'm sorry, I over exaggerated. My bad. That's the New Yorker in me. You know what I mean?
That was
It sounded
that was
like 43,000.
that was some Tony Khan numbers right there.
Oh man. But yeah, I think this is just WWE saying like, hey, we know that we've been putting you in the small rooms, but look, like this is what it's going to be now from now on. And you're going to be wrestling at these spots and hopefully have these chances to do stuff. She's a draw, so it makes sense that she's in Money in the Bank. So let's see. I still don't think she wins. She's definitely winning at Worlds Collide though.
I already know
Everybody knows the winner. We already know who wins.
WWE spoiled it. We'll get to that when
It's
we
been
get there.
spoiled, yeah. And now she's the betting favorite right now. It's hilarious. And like in the photo, it's spoiled and like that. It's so hilarious. I will explain later. Like,
okay, fair enough. Also, let's talk about a little bit Chad Gable. Do you think Chad Gable wins Money in the Bank, or do you think Grande Americano wins at Worlds Collide?
I think Chad wins at Worlds Collide.
Okay.
Just hear me out. I think he beats Vikingo. And somehow, some way, Grande Americano, who I'm putting my money on, is not Chad Gable when they do this. I guarantee you it's going to be Alberto Del Rio because they have a similar body tan and a similar height and build. Is going to cash in on Chad Gable. And it'll be the first international cash in. It'll be the big deal, and they can get rid of the Money in the Bank. Triple H just made it very clear. He said in an interview he doesn't like the Money in the Bank. He doesn't get the stipulation. He doesn't like it at all. Makes perfect sense for somebody who doesn't want nothing to do with it. I think he's going to make their joke.
They have a 7-inch difference in height.
We're not going to pay attention.
Although I think it would be hilarious if that were the case. Someone 7 inches taller comes out with the mask and they just start gaslighting us. Michael Cole's the only one who can see through it. I think that would be absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, if he hits the whistle, if he hits the whistle, I would not. If it's R-Truth, that'd be great too. That'd be hilarious.
That's how they run the last month of his contract, which would be amazing.
But yeah, I think they're gonna gaslight us. It's not gonna be Chad Gable when it's all said and done. And then they'll do vignettes where it proves it has been Chad Gable the whole time, and we all look dumb. They'll edit stuff and make it look weird. Chelsea Green already said they borrowed her boots. Y'all seen that picture where it's like the CG boots? Like, whose boots are these? Chelsea Green's like, I've been looking for those.
No, facts. Sean's in the building. Oh, sorry. Just jumping in, bros. But always remember, El Grande Americano is numero uno.
He was number one.
That's true. That's true too. Fellas, we're gonna get into this match too later on in the show about Money in the Bank. But I just want to know: is it a waste to have your world champions in a tag team match at a PLE? Shouldn't we be getting title defenses? Nitro?
Yeah, no, I think this is a total waste. And it's not even the men. I'm pretty sure Io Sky, who is champion, is going to tag with Kairi Sane and go after the tag titles. So it's like, this is such a waste. All my world champions, my big top stars who should be doing big things are in tag matches. 2 of them in the same match. I think it's dumb. It's a waste. I want to see at least have one world title on this pay-per-view, and it's not going to be one because they're in tag matches.
I agree with you. Brittany. How you feeling about this? You think it's a waste?
I think I've always hated it. I hate that now it's a Money in the Bank tradition to have your champion in a tag match. It's been 3 years running now. We've had championship tag matches with no championships in it, just like there's a champion, I guess you could say. But I don't like that. I think it's a waste of time. I think it's a waste of like story. Like right now, Jey Uso, who in a sense we've somewhat looked at as a transitional champ, this would be a wasted PLE opportunity for a defense, which you hate to see it because if he loses in the next 3 PLEs, you look back and go, well, why was he in a tag match? It just doesn't make sense. You could run stories. And right now you're doing a story that didn't need him.
Right.
And I guess, I don't know, I think we're watching Cena really ruin wrestling, I guess you could say, because now we got a tag match at Money in the Bank. Thanks, Cena.
I don't think Cena's ruining wrestling, but I do agree with both of you. I think it's just a waste to have these guys here. I think it's if you're gonna put him in a tag match, don't even put him on the card. Give the light to your mid cards. You know what I mean? Let Dom have a match. Let your United States champion have a match. You know, Jacob Fatu. So you could do something different. If you don't want to have your main champions defend their titles, fine. But don't give us, this random all of a sudden story now that you're trying to have Cena and Logan Paul be friends and Cena trying to put him over, convincing us that he is the future. I'm not saying he's not, and I'm also not saying he is, but it's just a waste. Like Brandy said, we don't need Jey Uso in this right now. We didn't need Logan Paul in this right now. The story should just be Cody and Cena. The story should be Logan and Jey. In reality, didn't Gunther call out and said, I'm wrestling whoever at Money in the Bank and then scrap that idea? Now you get that match next week?
Yeah, you get it on Monday.
You get it on Monday? Right. So it's just like that match, that should have been on Money in the Bank. You know what I mean? That's the match that should have been on Money in the Bank. Because that will make me tune in. I'm going to tune in regardless, but that right there to be like, oh, I'm excited for the World Heavyweight, the rematch. You know what I mean? But now we're going to get it on Monday Night Raw because, y'all saw the rumors. Apparently they've been slacking on views. We're not going to get into that, but you got to build that, right? So now you got to build Raw up. And I'm not sure if that's enough for people to tune in. Say, hey, I'm going to stay up for the 2.5 hours for this main event to maybe even watch Jey win. Do you guys think Jey beats Gunther next week, Nit Rare?
I think this just sets up a cash in, right? This is the only reason why I would stay up. Is that this match, the reason why this is not on the pay-per-view and they moved it to Monday night is so they can have a cash in on Monday night. And I generally think for some hard reason, it's gotta be Seth Rollins at this point. He's the only one in the feud. And if it's not him, it's gotta be Solo. But he's on SmackDown. So I feel like they're setting themselves up for failure.
Brandy, what about you? You think main event Jey Uso is going to defeat or retain his title at Monday Night Raw against Gunther?
I've watched enough wrestling to know when something's going to end in bullshit. Like when they like a couple of weeks ago, they had the Seth Rollins, Jey Uso championship match. And you're just like, that's going to end in bullshit. That's not going to end in a fair fashion. And I think one thing we can know about Jey Uso matches is that they don't end with fair fights and without interventions and interferences. So I think it's going to be one of those situations where Jey retains because someone like Logan or someone tried to do some bullshit. Someone might even try to cash in. Maybe it won't even be a successful attempt, but it just leads to Jey retaining because that's how Jey wins matches.
Hey, I'm happy. I'm so happy you said that. That is how Jey wins matches. and I hate it for him because I want to see Jey win matches by himself.
We've seen Jey put up with the best of them, like Roman Reigns and shit. I just feel like there's no reason to do protected finishes every time. He can have a clean win. You can give him a clean win. I mean,
give him the clean win.
Technically, it's been all his title defenses because technically the win against Gunther was a clean win, right? So like it's just in his title defenses.
But that's what I'm saying. And
much.
But that's what for me personally, that's what I don't like about his title reign is how he gets away with not even getting how he gets help to win. And I feel like before he even got that title, you and China was saying, Jey can work, Jey can do this one-on-one. He's been showing everybody that he could do it. He's been cooking, right? His Intercontinental, he was cooking those matches. His way up to the World Heavyweight Championship, he was cooking those matches. And now he has the title, and you're saying he needs help. He didn't need help when he got up there. So why is he getting all this help now?
Well, that's the story they're telling, though. That's exactly what Gunther told him. What makes you not a good champion is that you're focused on too much things that isn't the world championship. And that's why he has all this drama following him.
That too.
I'm telling you, Gunther's been cooking lately, man. He be coming in his nice little suits, looking all pretty and shit, sitting down, giving these little
man's need to look in the mirror because that's exactly why he lost his title.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Let's take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to be talking about some Mariah May debuting on NXT.
Dive into a world where every pinfall, every suplex, and every promo is celebrated in fashion. From the legendary 3-count trivia to the iconic bad guy wrestling, we've got the latest gear to elevate your wrestling wardrobe. Show off your passion for the squared circle. It's not just clothing, it's a lifestyle. Come shop with us and unleash your inner champion at foursidesofthering.com. That's foursidesofthering.com.
foursidesofthering.com. Cop all of our newest merch that you can find on our website. All made by the one and only Brandy Savage. Fellas. Let's talk about Tuesday night and a debut that happened. That chick from Evolve got no pop. So sad.
No
crickets.
The first one that popped out. Tripping.
No, not the first one. Not the first one.
Yeah.
The one that came out.
She got no pop. She cooked.
They were chanting her name, y'all. Rewatch the segment. They were chanting. They were chanting her name.
I watched live. I don't have to rewatch it.
I'm trying to tell you, rewatch it. They were chanting her name. She cooked.
Her promo cooked. The fans just, I guess they don't know who she was or whatever the case might be. It was just there was no pop for her.
I think you misunderstood. Lady Rainey was getting that.
Let's talk about who did get the pop. Mariah May finally shows up on WWE NXT. Did you pop?
Oh, me or Brandon? Because
looking like a
woke up the neighbors.
Definitely woke up the neighbors.
When the lights went off, I said Mariah, and then as soon as he popped, Brandon was over here yelling at me on the couch. The dog got scared. I think the neighbors saw the lights. So Brandon was yelling
for good reason.
This guy
the WWE NXT Women's Division is now glamorous, baby.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm really happy for Mariah. I'm happy that she's getting to live out her dreams. The one thing that I'm kind of upset about is that Shawn Michaels really could have gave us Stephanie Vaquer versus Mariah May.
I don't know, man.
I feel like if you would have did that match and you put May over Vaquer and then send Vaquer to main roster, you know what I mean? You're really setting up for your future star here. But Mariah May squashing JC Jane, and I know it's not going to be a squash. It's obviously going to be a 50-50 match, but Mariah May squashing JC Jane for the title.
It's the wrong move. I'd be a hypocrite if I said I think Mariah May should be champion right off the gate, because I definitely said last week what NXT has a problem is they have this new pretty toy thing where they get these new people and they are immediately throwing straps on them. It's overshadowing. No, relook at that segment. Jada Parker got a big pop. Okay, Lash Legend got a huge pop. There's a lot of girls who've been working their asses off that should not be outshined just because we signed a new girl. Because we already did that. We already did that. We did it with Julia. We did it with Stephanie. We almost did it with Jordan Grace. Surprised she's still on NXT. Thought she was going to SmackDown, generally. But you look at all of it, besides Kalani Jordan, any one of those girls deserve to be champion.
Well, why you hating on Kalani
Besides
Jordan?
Kalani Jordan? What the fuck?
Yo, why you hating on Kalani for?
She got no pop.
But she's filthy. She's great.
She's okay.
She's
Nah,
okay.
she's good. She's good.
She is. He's kind of right. He's out of line, but he's right.
I don't think Mariah wins the title off rip off gate. I don't think that's why she's there. Obviously, she's got to build a new name for herself. She has to
build a new name.
Literally has to build a new
Oh
name for
man!
herself. But she also has to understand if she could move a WWE crowd. She got the pop on NXT, obviously, because everybody's been waiting for it. Everybody's been doing it. I don't know. I don't know if NXT needed her, or if she needs NXT, or if the main roster needed her. But I like the start of NXT. I feel like anybody who's new that comes in shouldn't have to go or shouldn't skip NXT, especially if we've never seen your face, right? This is her first time being on WWE programming. She had a tryout. She didn't get it. She did a little bit of modeling from them through her agency for some t-shirts. When she was just a fan, and then went to Japan, did her thing. Went to AEW, did her thing. This just goes to show that AEW does build stars. I don't care what anybody says, because without AEW, Mariah May probably never gets picked up by the WWE.
That she'll be a Stardom. She'd just be another girl in Stardom.
Yeah. Well, she's a star. She was a star in Stardom. Like she was big in Japan. You know what I mean?
Yes, but when it comes to, and I'm saying American loosely, non-Asian wrestlers in the Stardom don't really get the big movement compared to the Asian stars in Stardom. And I mean, maybe they're biased out there. Why wouldn't they be? But she would be another woman, a hard worker, very great in Stardom. That's all she would be.
That's true too. I just think those WWE, those WWE hardcore fans that only watch that product should truly understand. I truly believe this. Without AEW, Mariah May would never be a thing.
And I don't think she needed NXT. I really don't think. I think she should have went straight to SmackDown. Generally,
yeah. Sean says he wishes that they would have held the debut a month, maybe debut her at Evolution.
Yeah, I wish Tiffany would have held an open challenge on the SmackDown side, and that's who would have answered it. I don't think she needs NXT. I think if anything, like I said earlier, she sets back NXT for the woman. I generally think this. I think the women's division is perfectly fine there. I don't think she needs it. We're talking about Mariah May, who had one of the best women matches of this year with Toni Storm. The Hollywood ending match. One of the best matches this year.
Mm-hmm.
If you saw that and you're going to tell me, oh, we let Jade Cargill, because she's a star, skip NXT, and we all see how that gone. I'm not even trying to crap on Jade Cargill, but it took a long time for her to really pick up the gears. Mariah May does not need that. Mariah May could have went straight to main roster, and everyone in NXT finally could have got their shine. Because before she came out for that debut promo, I was telling Brandon, I was like, oh, they're really cooking right now with the women's division. And then she came out. And it kind of overshadowed everyone.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Brittany. No, go ahead, Brittany.
I kind of disagree with the Jade Cargill comparison, in the sense that like we knew Jade Cargill was green, but like NXT would have killed her momentum. When you look at someone like Stephanie Vaquer, you look at somebody like Mariah May, NXT won't kill their momentum. Ricky Starks, it won't kill their momentum. They're doing better. Like Ricky Starks is somewhere on the same level where he was, in my opinion, but like Ethan Page and all the other people, I feel like they're bigger stars than they ever were. I do think you should put these people there And not in just a sense of like, oh, you're gonna learn the way we do stuff. It's more like if you want to make NXT more important, you need to put bigger names there, and these are the bigger names they're putting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree. Who do you think right now is on the NXT women's roster that is a better wrestler than Mariah May?
Personally, Jada Parker.
Okay,
I think
that's one.
Jada's time is well overdue. Mariah's great. She's a good wrestler, but she's as the same skill level as far as in ring, not character work, because she blows these people out of the water as far as character work. But it's the same in ring level as Fallon Henley, who's a great wrestler. She's in the same ring level as. Now she's better than Kalani, but she's
not better than Tatum Paxley.
Yeah.
Jordan
Tatum
Grace.
crazy.
Tatum Paxley's another one. Thea Hale's another one who's really good, and we know this.
So Ruka?
But as far as character work, I feel like she's already beyond that. If you go to NXT to find characters, she did not need to be there.
And she's not there to find characters. She's there to build that division.
That's true.
Because if she can put those people over, they're bigger stars now. And like honestly, I'm like this is kind of just came to me, but I really hope. I guess on Tuesday we seen Tatum Paxley with a naked Barbie doll with nothing. She had nobody to look to be obsessed over. Who better but Mariah May?
Start dressing that blonde hair.
Yeah.
Do you know what I hope for?
Just go ahead and run the Tony Storm story all over again.
Well, I mean, hold up. They were running that story with her and Lyra at the same exact time. Let's not say one came before the other, like because they were like literally running at the same time.
Someone just did it better.
But whose was better?
Yes. That's the one instance where AEW type did it better.
I hope that when her music plays, it's Bobby Roode's theme, but instead of glorious, it just says glamorous.
I would love that.
I generally hope that's like what they do for her. Because that song was too much of a banger not to reuse.
That would be awesome. Yeah, that was a banger of an entrance. That was a banger of a gimmick. Shout out to Bobby Roode doing his thing. But shout out to Mariah May, man. Debuting on WWE, she's getting to live her dream. And I just want to put this out there too, because I talked a little bit of shit about the WWE marks. You AEW marks, y'all got to relax, okay? Blocking her on social media, talking all this shit about her. Mariah May, as a professional wrestler, was a professional. She fulfilled her contract. She put somebody over to take the title. She had an amazing storyline, and she built herself. She built herself so much that she went to the one place that she's wanted to go as a child. And you can't knock her for that. You can't take anything away from that, because remember that one goal back in the day that the goal was to get to the E. That's where you wanted to be. You wanted to swim with the big fish. Now the AEW's around, there's a different, there's a bigger pond or maybe a same amount size pond that you can swim with bigger fish as well. But you can't knock somebody who wanted to follow their dreams. You can't knock somebody who wanted to do the things that they had goals for, right? I'm not mad that she went to WWE. I'm not upset. I'm happy for her. I want her to succeed, and I hope she succeeds. Because the only thing that would really upset me is that if TKO drops the bag on her, because that's not fair to her. And if they do that, maybe she does come back to AEW. Maybe she does come back home. And Tony Khan's going to accept her with open arms. Shout out to Tony Khan also, too, telling all these AEW guys, yo, don't tell people not to watch our show. I want WWE people to come watch our show. I want their fans to come like all of wrestling. Stop gatekeeping. Enjoy wrestling for what it is. Let's move on. Miles Bourne, fellas. He left his faction. Good move?
What a match. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Charlie Dempsey's so good.
I think
Miles Bourne's really good too.
I think you should give some credit to Miles Bourne.
They're both really good.
It's
the whole
interesting
faction's really good.
It was real funny because they came out at the same time because they came out as a faction, but they were fighting each other. I thought that was hilarious. But I generally think, I don't know what's going on with Oba. I think Oba's getting a quick call up. I think Oba has like 2 more defenses, and he'll get a quick call up sooner or later. I think Miles Bourne could be a short-term NXT champion. And I think they're planting the seeds also for Charlie Dempsey to be one of his biggest rivals. Who knows what happens with Tavion Heights? They and Ren Sinclair, they're going both ways. That was hilarious. But generally, Miles Bourne showed I can hang because Charlie Dempsey's somebody who we know can hang. You know what I mean? His father is one of the best to ever do it. He's generally really great in the ring himself. So for Miles Bourne to do everything, the match that he had, I barely saw any errors. It was really a fun, entertaining match. And, you know, people don't even like the Heritage Cup rules, but they went by it, and it was great. So I think Miles Bourne generally has a title in his future.
I agree with you. I think Miles Bourne, after his match with Oba, definitely proved to the world and all of wrestling, hey, I could do this. You know, give me a chance, give me a shot. And Shawn Michaels did that. And little did we know, bam, you have a star. But I feel like you said, Nick Rim, I feel like if you really paid attention to No Quarter Catch Crew, you'd understand that all those guys are straight workhorses. They all want to get better. They all want to succeed. Charlie Dempsey, Tavion Heights going to Japan. Charlie Dempsey just learning from William Regal, his father, is just, that's probably one of the greatest teachers you can ever learn from, right? Miles Bourne and then Sinclair too. Like, yeah, so it's really cool. It sucks that they're all going their separate ways, but they need to go their separate ways. They needed this because this is what pushes them forward. So we'll see. Brandy, how are you feeling about Miles Bourne?
I think that dude's a star, man. I agree with Niram in the sense that, like, I think he might actually get a short-term run, and I think it's because of what he said last week. I think it has to do with the trying to continue putting it on homegrown stars, so when that we put it on one of the new guys, it's not as awkward. And I think Miles Bourne's a perfect guy to do that too. And you can run the story of the faction and stuff, his history. But yeah, I think Oba's definitely going up soon, man.
We got Zach in the chat. He says hello, everyone. What's going on, Zach? Hope
What's
you're
up,
having a
Zach?
great night. Fellas. LFG stars winners, I should say. Well, they're stars too. They're winners. Let's start with Tyare Maysteel. Were you impressed with her in-ring debut, Brandy?
I actually missed her in-ring debut, so I can't even comment on it.
Okay.
Didn't miss much.
Damn.
Didn't miss much. I'm not impressed by her, man. And I don't know. I
I
might
don't
be a
think she
little
should have won.
biased.
But
I don't think she should have won.
So biased.
I don't
He's so
know.
biased about it.
I don't
No,
think
she shouldn't have
should've-
won.
She doesn't understand herself yet. She's banking on this I have a gold medal because, that's big character. Oh, that's what Kurt Angle did. Kurt Angle was bigger than that. Kurt Angle was a personality. Kurt Angle was a threat. He was comedic. He's one of the best wrestlers of all time, if not the best wrestler of all time. Okay? When you come in with just I have a gold medal, you have nothing to tell me. Ariana Grace bodied her in a promo, and all she could say was, oh, yeah, I know who my first opponent is. And she didn't look that impressive. I don't care how many, Booker T's givers. It's not impressive. Like, I don't care for Mariah May Steel. She needs more work. She needs to figure out more than just being a gold medalist. And if I'm being 100% completely honest, if she's going to do a heel moveset, she should be a heel.
That's
Shouldn't be so much to ask for.
That's spitting facts. I thought it was decent. She has an in-ring caliber that's perfect for NXT. So I think it's okay. And we still got to get to it. I understand that you think she shouldn't have won. And I get that. Maybe she shouldn't have. But she should definitely be on television. She has this spark on her, bro. She has something that people, for some odd reason, want to see. I want to see what she can do. I want to see if she can develop and get better. But also, what I don't want to see is that the first winner of LFG was a bust. You know what I mean? So they got to make sure she's good. They got to make sure she's right. Because if she's a bust, then why are we going to watch season 2, season 3, season 4, season 5, and season 6?
So my boy BJ Ray wins.
I don't think he'll ever be on the show again.
Damn, I think he gonna be back.
Nah, my boy Rook is, I don't know, just chilling with Sean. Let's speak about the man who won, Jasper Troy. Fellas, they've been pushing him a lot. They've been showing his face a lot, and he's been targeting the world NXT champion, Obafemi. Do you guys feel like he's getting too much too soon? Or do you feel like he's getting the perfect treatment as somebody his size as a big man? Let's start with Niran.
I think besides the title being different, he's getting Oba's treatment. And I think he's Oba's replacement. Like I said earlier, I think Oba's going main roster, which is perfect for him. He's put into work. He's fabulous talent. And he's a great big guy. You got to replace Braun Strowman. There's some people that got released that need to be replaced in the main roster, fill in those gaps. Oba's that guy. I think they think Jasper Troy is going to be that Oba, and he's needs a little bit more polishing. I wish he didn't wear the fake chain, the big old fake-looking, plastic-looking metal chain around his neck. I don't personally like it.
That's nostalgia.
But he has more potential to generally be a star and be a threat than the female winner does of Tyare Misty.
Absolutely.
I could agree with that. I don't think that they want him to be. I don't think they want him to be the next Oba, right? I do like the fact that you say he's getting an Oba treatment, because Oba did get this crazy treatment, and Zombie King was like, I got to see more. And now Zombie King's a fan of Oba. I do have to see more of Jasper Troy, because I don't know much of Jasper Troy besides from LFG and besides what he's been doing on NXT. I need to know that when he gets into this ring with your world champion, that your world champion will walk out in one piece. So when he goes to the main roster and battles out maybe with Gunther, Jey Uso, Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, or go to SmackDown, wrestle Jacob Fatu, LA Knight, that he is going to be in one piece. He will be 100% when you call him up. Because the last thing you wanted... Go ahead.
My bad, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
We'll say, would y'all be okay if he's the real leader of Dark State? And
yes, because that protects him.
And Oba, in a sense.
Yes, that protects him and Oba, 100%. It's just...
Somebody got to be the leader, right? They keep saying it. Somebody got to be the leader of these guys. They don't know who it is yet, but they just...
It's The Rock. I'm just waiting on it. I'm just waiting for Dwayne to say... I'm just waiting for his daughter to be like, yeah, it's my dad. He's your leader. No, but it's just... Something tells me if you put Jasper Troy over Oba, it hurts Oba more than anything. Like you said, you don't want Mariah to come and win the title in real quick. I don't want Jasper Troy to come just because he won LFG to come in and all of a sudden he gets a title. Let me see your resume. Let me see you go against guys. Go wrestle Miles Bourne. That's somebody who just fought in the main event. Go wrestle Ricky Saints. Go wrestle Ethan Page. Let me see you could work with some of the best guys that's on that men's roster right now. Prove to me that you deserve to be standing across from Obafemi. See, Obafemi is not going to back down from any challenge because that's Obafemi. You know what I mean? He's just, I'll take you on. You want to wrestle me? Okay, good luck. You're a fool. But there's got to be a better way to build this man.
I disagree. I think it's actually like somewhat kind of like the right way to do it, because win or lose, it's okay to be second fiddle to Obafemi at this point. Obafemi has proven he's the most dominant guy in NXT. So even if you go into that match, we get a big meaty men slapping meat match. Oba goes over. There's still nobody left to beat Jasper. Jasper should still be a dominant figure over the NXT roster, or whoever goes up against him, because that's how they want to build him. I feel like they look at Oba and they go, Oba's a big man, but he's, Jasper makes him look small.
No, but I get that, and that's what I'm saying. If you want to build him as that big man, put him against these guys that you brought in. Put him against Lexus King. Show me that he is this big guy. Just don't throw him in this big man match.
No, you throw him in the main event. That's what you do. You want him to be a main eventer? You throw him in the main event.
You know what? He should have been in the tournament that Obafemi was in the tournament. That Obafemi won. That got him the title shot. That would have been great. You know what I mean? Like,
but that defeats the whole purpose of LFG.
Yeah, I think that's what LFG is now.
No, LFG just gets you a contract.
But I'm saying, like, that defeats the whole purpose of LFG. Like, what's the point of going? Because most of the people in those matches are from PC.
Okay. But what if you change it to where the tournament is the number one contender for the world, for the title? You know what I mean?
That's
And
what
then
it
throw them
is,
in
but
that.
it's still presented as such. It's a rocket ship, and they use it as such. They used it on Soruka. They used it on Oba.
Yeah. They
No,
use it
not
on Oba. They use it
Soruka. Kalani Jordan. I'm sorry.
Kalani Jordan. They use it on Kalani Jordan. They use it on Oba. Why not use it on Jasper Troy? He won.
Because
He
he's
won
already has the
LFG.
rocket ship on his back. His name is already developed. You don't
His name
need
is
to put
Booker
him
T.
through that part. You don't need to put him through the ringer because he already went through a ringer already. So like, well, that would be redundant to do it again.
I got you. All right. Let's move on a little bit. Trick Williams, fellas, retained his TNA championship with
Surprising.
surprising. With the help
That part was surprising.
of TNA.
That
With my
part was
guy,
surprising.
AJ Francis.
Top
He's back.
dollar.
He
First
is
class.
back first class with Trick Willie. And it makes sense. And if China was here, I would say, yo, your boy Mike Santana killed it. Yeah, he killed it. He killed it on NXT on Tuesday night.
Yeah, there's a lot of wrestlers, people love to just throw out and be like, oh, this person dropped the ball, this person dropped the ball. And they say names like Penta and all this. No. You want to see a drop the ball, AEW dropped the ball on Mike Santana. They should have let him do a solo thing.
I could agree with that. I wouldn't have mind watching a solo mid card run from Santana. With what he's doing, the promos in Spanish, the repping the fucking Puerto Rico. I love the fact that this man reps Puerto Rico no matter what.
My God,
He
bro.
says,
He's a
my man
loud
throws the
crowd.
wepa, boricua. My man, love it. I love it.
I think Trick
Bro,
Williams loves it too.
Marcus, did you see Trick Williams' promo where he was like, he keeps saying he's a Boricua from the Bronx. A Boricua from the Bronx. What does that even mean? Like, Trick Williams generally made me laugh.
Hey, I can't wait for everyone to be like, I'm such a Trick Williams fan. It's crazy.
That'll never happen.
It's gonna happen, bro.
It'll never happen.
You're
gotta
gonna be a Trick Williams fan, like low key.
Low key.
I do have
You
an
know how many
issue.
times you go, he did make me pop. You know how many times you say that all the time.
I do have an issue with the AJ Francis thing. I don't know. It's like, if they're gonna do TNA's helping NXT, don't pick a faction that has one former NXT guy who was fired from NXT, then brought back, and then fired again.
Let's not look at it as
I'm looking at the
TNA
full
helping.
past.
Let's not look at it as the TNA guy helping the WWE guy. Let's look at it as, that's my boy. He will always be my boy, and I got his back. No matter where I'm at and no matter where he's at, we are forever locked in, first class.
But the story that TNA is telling on TNA is, we need someone to step up and save the title for TNA.
And it's going to be AJ Francis. This is all just a trick. He's going to play mind games on Trick. And AJ Francis is going to be your new TNA world champion. Remember, I said it here first. They put the title on that man. Oh, it's going to be fantastic. I can't wait to see it at AML with the TNA World Championship.
No, Brandy threw out a good name. He said it'd probably be AJ Styles.
It better be AJ Styles, man.
And I said that's exactly what TNA did. They just gave it to a guy who's still on there, or AEW did. They just gave it to a guy who used to be on TNA, but we respect it.
I don't want to see that. I don't want to see AJ Styles. AJ Styles versus Trick Williams? That's such a downgrade for AJ Styles.
But
he just took a pin from El Grande Americano.
He did from a headbutt.
It wasn't a headbutt, bro. That was a chop to the chest. That was a double chop to the chest, bro.
Okay, so I asked this last time. I said, how does this benefit TNA? Because how many TNA wrestlers is NXT or TNA champion NXT star Trick Williams gonna beat before he gets the title off him? Because he's about to beat Elias. They announced that, right? We know Elias ain't winning the belt. Mike Santana didn't win the belt.
Elijah.
So that's two of them right there.
Elijah. They announced that Elijah's gonna lose already.
They didn't announce he was gonna lose. I don't think that's. But I'm saying, like, how many TNA people is Trick Williams actually gonna run through?
All of them.
It's a bad look.
All of them until you go to TNA and diss him.
I drop bars on him, bro. He don't want to get in a rap battle with me.
Oh, I just look, man. I think this is great for TNA because they're getting exposure on a bigger level than what their current streaming contract is. You know what I mean? These guys are getting exposure. Their title is getting exposure. In a sense, NXT is doing what AEW was doing early on with Ring of Honor. Just put them on the show. Let's see if we can get people to go watch that on Thursdays or go watch that on. I don't know what Ring of Honor was. What, Sundays, Saturdays, or Fridays? I forgot what Ring of Honor was on, what day it was on. But I want people to go watch Ring of Honor. So let me show them on AEW. Let me show them on Collision. Let me show the champion. You guys like this person, right? Go watch him on his show. But we're not doing that. People are not downloading the Access app. People are not watching. Well, I'm not going to say people are not watching because obviously TNA is like Arby's right now. Somebody's keeping them alive, right? So,
Arby's.
and you love TNA too, and their world champion. But I think this is good for TNA. They're getting exposure. They're getting TV. Some of their wrestlers are getting TV time. Joe Hendry was at the Rumble. Joe Hendry was at WrestleMania. Joe Hendry
He got
sold out
squashed.
merch. Doesn't matter. He was still at WrestleMania.
I agree.
He was still at the Royal Rumble. So
He lost his title to Trick
So-
Williams in developmental.
So this is good for TNA. This is good for TNA. Remember, TNA agreed to this, so maybe they have plans.
Yeah, they're desperate. They ain't got plans. They're desperate.
God damn.
I can
TNA's,
say that.
man, TNA's a company that will never die, but man, are they desperate.
We'll see. Fellas, Evolve has crowned their world champion. And it is no other than North Carolina's very own. Let me say that one more time. North Carolina's very own Jackson Drake.
My boy,
Congratulations
Carolina
to-
Reaper.
Congratulations to Jackson Drake. Nit Ram and I have been watching him for the longest of longest times. Firestar Pro Wrestling. Shouts out to Firestar Pro Wrestling and LeBron having two of the top young guys killing it. One in Evolve, who's a world champion, and everybody knows the phenomenal. He's bouncy. The young OG, Javon Evans, been killing it on NXT.
Who presented them the title? It was real cool.
Yeah,
man.
who also presented their best friends. They were tag team champions.
They were.
You know what I mean? So there's a lot of history there. And Nit Ram tweeted it out and said, these two guys are going to be the next Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. And you know what? When I saw that, I said, hey, man, you're right. They had that friendship. They have that. They grew up together. They started together. So I'm really excited for that. I'm really excited for Jackson Drake. This is big for him. Everybody said that it should have been the other guy, but you know what? You were wrong. It should have been
Dead
Jackson
wrong.
Drake.
Yes.
So
I don't care if I'm biased there. I'm 100% biased. Jackson Drake is my guy. He's worked harder than anybody. He deserves this, and he made history. So I'm more than happy for him. He's generally a great guy too.
Does this make you want to watch Evolve now?
Yeah, no, it generally does. It generally makes me want to watch Evolve.
What about you, Bernie? Are you interested in
I'm
Evolve?
not watching Evolve. I'm good. There's too much wrestling in the week. They got 4-hour AEW shows right now. It's ridiculous right now. I'm good on Evolve.
Hey, let's take a small break. We'll be right back with the Move the Needle.
What's up, my fellow bad guys? Just when you thought we were down bad, Brandy's here to pick us right back up. Thanks to our partnership with SeatGeek, we got good seats and great prices. New users can score a fantastic $20 off their final ticket purchase by using the exclusive promo code 4SIDESOTR at checkout for any event. That's 4SIDESOTR. Tell them the bad guy sent you.
4 Sides OTR. SeatGeek. You guys already know. Get those tickets all in. What is it? 37 days away now?
Ooh.
I lost track.
Well, if you want to go to All In, if you want to go to Money in the Bank this weekend, if you want to go to Worlds Collide this weekend, and you're getting a ticket off SeatGeek, make sure you use that code 4 Sides OTR. But fellas, you already know when you see the
I
code,
sent you.
tell them the bad guy sent you. You might get like 5% off. It might not work though, because sometimes they be tripping over there at SeatGeek. They're like, "Who's the bad guy?" And then I got to email them, and it's just a whole thing. But if you use our code, you will get that discount. I promise. Fellas, my Move the Needle is interesting this week because we haven't done him, and we love talking about him. And we don't know if he's getting re-signed or not, or extended. But fellas, does Karrion Kross move the needle? Let's start with Brandy.
For me personally, yes. Isn't he Puerto Rican?
Yes.
Isn't he Boricua
Yes.
from New York?
Mhm.
Moves the needle. Do I need to say more? Like,
No?
that's enough for Chance, right? It gotta be enough for me. Nah. Yeah, I think Karrion Kross has been one of those people who, when given the opportunity, or even when he takes the opportunity, is undeniable. But they still put him in, they still shove him in a little corner and say no. I think that guy is spectacular. I think if you actually let him run the stories he deserves to run, we might get some gold.
Nitram, how you feeling about Karrion Kross?
I think he moves the needle. I think he bumps the rating. We've seen all the outrage online. People want Karrion Kross on TV. And when he's on, even that little segment he did with Sammy, did you hear the pop? When that man just popped in for 2 seconds. People went nuts. We want Karrion Kross. You know why we want Karrion Kross? Because people are familiar with what he can do. We know he deserves more than main event. We've seen this man in Lucha Underground. We've seen this man in TNA. We've seen this man in NXT twice. Okay, I know what Karrion Kross can do, and those are all different characters in his career. So whether he's Karrion Kross and you have plans for him, and finally you're gonna do something with this Sami Zayn storyline, do it. Or if he's gone from the company and Killer Kross jumps ship, then you're hurt. Because I genuinely think he brings a crowd with him. He bumps a rating.
I agree with you, man. Karrion Kross has moved the needle for me since his first run at NXT. TikTok. It was just perfect. Then doesn't get his release. Now I'm not gonna lie, the control your narrative thing, I tried to watch. I really did try to watch it, but it was not good. It was very low budget. And I'm not gonna say that's his fault. I don't know whose fault it is, but it's not a thing
AOP's.
anymore. Is that what it is?
It was AOP's
Wait,
fault.
the control your narrative, his thing with EC3
it was
and
EC3.
Braun Strowman.
Yeah, but AOP had to do something where they ended up screwing people. It was a whole thing.
Okay, that makes sense. But that was a whole thing in itself. But yeah, I definitely think Karrion Kross moves the needle 100%. If you sit there and tell me that he doesn't move the needle, then we really got to talk about what don't you like about this man? Because one, he's a great gimmick. Two, he could work his ass off. He's great on the mic. He could tell you a story. I mean, what else can't he do? So let us know in the comments. Does Karrion Kross move the needle for you? Because we all agree he does over here. Brittany brought it up.
Absolutely.
Brittany brought it up. Fellas, AEW next week is doing another 4-hour show. Now, I asked Nitram, was 4 hours too much? Nitram said, I didn't even get to the main event. He said, I didn't even get to the main event. 4 hours is a lot of wrestling. Now, I will say, AEW did a really good job at pacing Wednesday night, and that 4 hours kind of flew by really fast. I wish we had a couple more women's matches. I didn't like the fact that we changed to Collision. Why didn't you stay Fighter Fest AEW throughout the whole thing? The 4 hours is a lot. 4 hours is a lot. And if he's doing this because it's summertime and he wants people to watch it and kids can stay up and watch wrestling, cool. But my guy, I got to get up at 5:30 in the morning and go to work the next day. I can't stay up and watch your main event. I'm trying to watch this. I can't stay up and watch your big special announcement. I did. Don't get me wrong, I did, Tony Khan. But I had to have like 2 Red Bulls today so I can get through work. You know what I mean? And then talking to the wrestling fans at work, talking about, did you stay up and watch it? Yeah, I did. Brandy, how you feeling about another 4-hour show for AEW?
Pass.
Nitram, another 4-hour show of AEW.
I think they just have to do it right, man. Like I said, the pacing was right. But there was a time where Fyter Fest and all these little TV, there was a time when we used to go crazy when winter is coming. These TV pay-per-views, as we would call them, these free TV pay-per-views, the matches were pay-per-view caliber. Besides the Kenny Omega 4-man match, there was nothing pay-per-view caliber on the show that it should have dragged that long. There was nothing to really sink me in. So I look at next week and I'm sitting here like, what do you have besides the, contract signing and, maybe another Thekla match? But like, what do you have that's actually going to have me sink into my seat? Like, Tony Khan used to be really good at this stuff. It used to feel like pay-per-views. This felt like a long show.
It did. It did. But hey, out of that long show, we're getting part 5.
Uh-huh.
Kenny Omega, Okada, All In the States. Randy, does this hype you up?
Obviously, I mean, it's Kenny and Okada. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I get hyped for the things I'm supposed to get hyped for.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, when things make sense, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is this the perfect timing, or should we have gotten this when Okada first came in?
I think it's perfect timing actually, because Kenny.
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
Kenny had his illness, and then there was just a lot of stuff going on with Kenny. But generally, like, to think it all went through, this may have not happened if Kenny didn't get better. You know what I'm saying? We're getting this 5th match, and the way they set it up was great. Like when Okada smacked him with the belt in his face, I was just like, Jesus, this is the Okada I wanted. And when that happened, I texted you. I was like, that has to be the announcement that they're gonna do Okada 5. Did they even announce it like that? They just said, yeah, it's official. Winner takes all. No, this is Omega Okada 5. That's how you need to present it. Because that's all I kept telling Brandon. Couldn't even sleep. I went in his room and just whispered in his ear like 6 times.
it was weird.
I just kept saying it. Okada
On the hour, every hour.
You guys know I love to make custom shirts. I'm gonna make that custom shirt.
Mike's in the building. He shouts out 4 Sides. Shouts out to Mountain Up Mike. He's a real trooper. He watched that 4-hour show and still gave the world a nightcap.
Jesus,
bro, that's like what? What did I start from Mike? That's like 8 o'clock at night for him.
that is true. That is true.
AEW also had a in-ring debut. Thekla. Was she very impressive in her first match, Nate Ram?
So they gave her someone good. They gave her Lady Frost, who's an excellent in-ring worker. It was short.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more excited for her next match with Queen Anamata because that woman can work.
That's what I said.
Yeah, Queen Anamata.
Yeah, but now what are you gonna say, Brandon? I took everything you're gonna say, so now you gotta say something else.
I'm just gonna say it again. Yo, Queen Amanada, that lady can work. Whew. I'm a huge fan. He did take everything I said, damn it.
Mike said that AEW ran from 5 to 9 his time. Must be nice.
Must be nice.
Must be nice.
Imagine still having a full night of video games after wrestling. Doesn't that sound amazing? I want to live in the West Coast.
He also says Thekla is freaky boys.
Her pose is amazing. Yeah, her pose is amazing.
She's awesome. She had a great match. I texted Nate Ram. I said, damn, I forgot Lady Frost was still on the roster, but I also forgot how good she is in ring. She's like perfect for somebody trying to come in. She's a little on the older side, so it makes sense that this is the type of stuff that she's doing. But I thought Thekla was impressive, and I want to see where it goes. And honestly, when the Queen challenged her, I was like, yeah, that match is gonna cook. I said that match is definitely gonna cook because Queen Amanada is filthy. She's so good.
And when she beats her, Jamie Hayter still has to get her look back. So they're doing it right. She's not in the title picture, and she's building herself up. This is the best time AEW's ever handled a women's debut. Because normally it's just title picture, and then we have to forget about them.
Speaking about the women's division, though, in AEW, do you feel like AEW should include some women's tag team titles? Brandy?
Yeah, I think it definitely should. I think it was dumb when they took it away the first time. Because like it was like, oh, we're gonna do the loop, and then they did it like 3 times and never came back. And then I don't know. I think like if you're not gonna do the loop or put the regular tag team titles on a constant loop, then there's really no point not to not have tag team titles in NXT. We can do not titles versus title, but we could just do like our tag team champions versus your tag team champions all the time. It doesn't need to be for the title. But if you
AEW.
want to have that same spark, oh, I'm sorry.
AEW.
But no, that's what I meant. But yeah, like I think it's like the perfect thing because that women's division is too stacked. And like
The women's
it just
division at
adds to it.
AEW is big, and we've been seeing a lot more women's tag
Arrows.
teams. Yeah, women's tag team developing more at AEW. Nitram, do you like the idea of women's tag titles at AEW?
I love the idea of women tags at AEW. I would also love the idea that AEW could fix their women's division. Like we said, we had one real women's match, which was ironically a tag match. Good for them. But AEW has a lot of women tags right now. Tay Mello just came back. You know, her and Anna Jay, they had their thing going on. Mina and Tony is actually a tag team. You have Megan Bain and Penelope Ford. You have Mercedes, and I'm really hoping she gets back with Harley Cameron. Generally hoping. It was a great tag with them. Like, they constantly putting these women together. You know, and then you also have the Ring of Honor girls. You have the Minions, who are under Athena. You know, so it's like you have all these tag teams, but I want to see. Don't bring in another title if you don't have the time to even put regular women on TV.
Agreed. Unless they're maybe gonna have a women's show. You know, I told you this. You know, I said, what if Tony Khan did an all women's pay per view on the same day as Evolution? Which one would you watch? Which all women's pay per view are you really going to tune into? You know, it really depends on what the card is. It really depends on who's wrestling. But that would be hilarious. It does. You're going to watch AEW, I know.
100%.
I'm watching WWE.
100% watching AEW. You know why? Because they put on the best women's match this year. So I'm going off that.
It's going to be 5 hours of women's wrestling. That's why you're going to watch it.
I'll be real impressed.
Let's get into our margarita match predictions. Before we do that, fellas, have y'all seen Thunder Rosa challenged Britt Baker to a hair versus hair match at All In? Now, Britt Baker hasn't said anything about this, and I think this match was. I think Thunder Rosa did this while she was on stream, called her out, and said, "Let's do it." If this match is accepted, this tells me one thing: Tony Khan is going to send Britt Baker off with a shaved head and say, "All right, thanks for coming. Now you can go to WWE, Baldy."
Maybe that's what she wants.
Maybe that's what she wants. You're absolutely right. Would you be interested in a hair versus hair, having Britt Baker come back and her going up against her nemesis, Thunder Rosa? Would that interest you guys?
Generally, yeah. They had good chemistry on all the matches they've done before. But also, it's just one of those things where Britt really needs to come back and show people, yeah, I used to be the backbone for this company, because the last time she did it, it was really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's anybody who can make a bald head work, it's Britt Baker. She had a broken nose and came out in a wheelchair. Like, she makes things work.
That's very true. Let's talk some Worlds Collide, fellas. In a world where you could have as many matches as you want, with this new promotion that you just acquired and show off all this talent, you still only give us 5 matches. It's crazy. It's crazy. Let's talk about a tag team match. Stephanie Vaquer, Lola Vice versus Dallas and Chick. Is this a margarita match, and who do you guys have? Let's start with Nitram.
It's a margarita match because the WWE people are going to win.
Damn.
Randy Savage?
He's not wrong though. That's the worst part. Yeah, I think it's not a margarita match. These luchadors are gonna cook.
I think these luchadors are gonna cook. Tormenta is filthy. Don't sleep on Tormenta. She could work.
You know who's really gonna have to step up here though? Is gonna be Lola Vice. She's really gonna show them I can do this.
Yeah, she's definitely gonna have to step up, but she also makes sense that she's in this match. I like it. I'm pretty sure she's working with Stephanie before all this comes. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure Stephanie's trying to. I think Stephanie's taking her under her wing for all this. So this might. I'm not gonna say this is a margarita match, but I'll probably tune in at like 3:05. I might miss it a little bit. You know what I mean? The entrances or whatever it might be. I really want to see if Stephanie Vaquer gets to pop at AAA. That's what I'm.
She will.
I don't know. She turned her back on them.
Don't matter. They're fickle. They still cheer Alberto Del Rio and Tessa Blanchard, bro. They're gonna cheer for her.
True. Next match on the card is a 6-man tag team match. You have Lince Dorado. You have Dragon Lee and Cruz del Toro from LWO. They'll be going up against Octagon Jr., Aerostar, who's filthy, and Mr. Iguana, who I didn't even know he was still wrestling. I thought the dude retired, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. When I saw him on the card, I was like, yo, this man's still wrestling? What is going on? Octagon Jr. is pretty filthy too. Like, man, that man, his aerial is crazy. Like, don't sleep on that dude. I know people get confused. He doesn't have Penta's mask on. That is his mask. It's very similar style. Two different designs.
Mike said he's obsessed with Mr. Iguana.
You know what, Mike? It's you know what's cool about these AAA wrestlers, man, is that their gimmicks are so out of this world. Like, you could be obsessed with Mr. Iguana, and I'm okay with that because one of my favorite wrestlers from over there is Psycho Clown. Like,
Bro, they showed Mr. Iguana. I was like, that guy's awesome.
No, yeah, Mr. Iguana's
He's
awesome.
awesome. You guys, Martin, I was like, who's that guy? He's cool as hell. It's not a puppet. That's a real iguana.
Did you say Lince Dorado's in here?
Yes. Yep.
Generally surprised he's still on the roster.
Yeah, he's on the match. He's on the match. He'll be wrestling. He'll be wrestling with Dragon Lee and Cruz del Toro. So we'll see. Next match. Oh wait, I didn't even ask you guys. Margarita match, and who do you guys got? Let's start with Aaron.
I got Mr. Iguana and all of them to win. This is gonna be straight entertainment. Look at the people WWE sent. Those are jobbers, bro. I didn't even know Lince Dorado was still on the roster.
Chill. Put some respect on Dragon Lee.
Oh, that job. While Dragon Lee appeared.
I'll give you
Who the hell is Dragon Lee? I say that with a Dragon Lee t-shirt in my drawer.
Brandy Savage.
It's gonna cook.
Look,
it's an introduction to new people, so I'm not skipping any of these for a margarita because I gotta see what's up.
True. I feel that.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. I can watch it on my phone, no problem.
Mm-hmm. You can go to a bar and watch it. Have all the margaritas.
Facts.
Bottomless.
Like, yo, that Mr. Iguana guy.
Do the share screen on the TV just cause fuck it. He's like, hey, we watch it.
Well, who's gonna stop me, huh?
Right, who's gonna stop me? Next match we got Santo Escobar, Angel, and Berto. They're going up against El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr. I didn't even know there was a junior. I thought when Dr. Wagner was done, he was done. But there's a junior. Pagano is also in this, and then my guy Psycho Clown, who I think is just awesome. That dude is, his mask is awesome. Everything about Psycho Clown is just awesome. This right here, I got my guy Psycho Clown taking the dub, maybe even pinning Santo Escobar. Nah, Santo Escobar can't get pinned. Berto gets pinned. And also I'll be at maybe, I don't know, Chili's, bottomless mimosas, I don't know, or bottomless margaritas while I watch this with Brandy Savage. Yeah, who do you got? Who do you got? Is this a margarita match for you?
I got Santos to beat Dr. Wagner because Dr. Wagner is one of the luchadors who signed that exclusive I can show up on WWE contract, and I think he's going to be on NXT. So,
Okay. Mike said he's in. Chili's and a little margarita. He's in. Let's do it. Mike, buy your plane ticket out here. I'll come pick you up.
Yes, sir. GSO.
Brandy Savage, who you got in this match right here?
I'm not even sure.
You want Legado del Fantasma to win?
That's what I'm saying. I don't even know like who these people are.
You want the other jobber faction?
Yes, I'm gonna go with the WWE faction to be safe.
Okay, fair enough. All right, let's get to
Nah, but those guys definitely would be. They're definitely gonna job out because they know what an honor it is to go be in the ring with those guys. So I feel like they don't care.
100%. 100%. Let's go to the co-main event, which I think after the 3 matches and you have all the margaritas you could have had, this is the match that you really want to watch. North American Championship 4-way. Ethan Page is going to defend his title against Javon Evans, Ray Phoenix, and Laredo Kid. And I think Ray Phoenix was only added to this match so he can actually wrestle Laredo Kid. So Laredo Kid had somebody that could keep up with him. Not saying Javon Evans can't, because I'm sure Javon probably could, but I think that's what that was there for. I got Ethan Page retaining his title, and I don't think this is a margarita match. Brandy, who do you got?
Laredo Kid.
Really?
We need some shock and awe. He's
Okay.
perfect.
He is perfect. Dude's filthy. Dude is super filthy. Knit Ram?
That boy's bouncy. Javon Evans after Ricky Starks in the crowd with a mask and takes out Ethan Page.
Oh, okay. I like Javon Evans too. I like that. Okay, we're all different places right now. At least none of us said Ray Phoenix.
He's
But we're
not
all
winning no
he's
NXT
not.
title. You know what I'm saying?
He says you see the vision, Brandy. You see the vision. Laredo Kid wins the North American title. Okay, wrapping up my
It's
dreams.
it's the perfect situation for a like a AAA guy to go over.
You know what, and you kind of have to do that with all the guys that AEW is bringing over from CMLL and putting them over and stuff from Wednesday night. Yeah, maybe Brandy's right.
I'll say
Put one
this.
And
over.
it makes the TNA title chase a little more unpredictable.
That
If
too.
Laredo Kid wins, then I think Vaquer loses. Title swap for title swaps.
Mike's got both of them wins too. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Let's
think
talk about
Chad
it.
wins too.
Let's talk about it. Former AEW wrestler. No, he wasn't a former AEW wrestler, but he wrestled some at AEW. He did his thing. I don't think he was
I would
ever all
consider him an
elite.
A. He wasn't all elite, but he was definitely
He
there
wasn't.
like every week for
He
like
did
3
the same
months.
thing Stephanie did and made a name over there and was like, yeah, I'm not really with y'all though, but thank you for having me.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he had a hell of a match with Kenny Omega.
Made him a star in the States.
So, but El Hijo del Vikingo and Chad Gable for the AAA Mega Championship, which is actually a really nice belt if you take your time and look at it. It's a really nice belt. It looks heavy though. Looks super heavy. This is definitely not a margarita match, and I got Vikingo to retain. I don't think. God, I don't know if Chad Gable goes over there and wins.
Chad Gable wins when Vikingo is distracted by El American Grande, whatever his name is.
El Grande
Espresso,
Americano.
yes. Who is Alberto Del Rio?
Espresso.
Who is Alberto Del Rio? And then in actual Money in the Bank, it's back to Chad Gable because they're going to gaslight us.
That'd be hilarious.
Chad Gable winning Money in the Bank and the AAA would be great for him. But if he does that, if they do give him all these gifts, I'm telling you right now, and you heard it here first, if Chad wins AAA Saturday and Money in the Bank Saturday, come in a few weeks, Alpha Academy is getting released.
Nah. Maybe just Ivy, but not both.
You know,
boys.
No. Alpha Academy.
Oh, Otis and them. Oh yeah. What are they doing?
I mean, what are they doing? But like, what if? And I mean this because like I know this is gonna be out of left field, but they just signed a random person to a Legends deal, and he would be the perfect person to put in that mask. And it's just like, what if it's Hornswoggle?
Because it's always Hornswoggle.
Because it's always Hornswoggle.
Always
It is always
Hornswoggle.
Hornswoggle.
What if it's, I don't know, like Hornswoggle starts coming out with the mask?
And then they just gaslight us. They show old footage where it's just
It's
proper
Hornswoggle
Hornswoggle.
That's Words Collides, fellas. 3:00 on YouTube. Check it out. Don't miss it. Money in the Bank is also Saturday. Let's go ahead and start with. Let's start with the one that's most controversial. Let's start with the women's. Really want to start with the women's. Alexa Bliss, Roxanne Perez, Rhea Ripley, Julia, Naomi, Stephanie Vaquer. First question: Should this be the main event?
Yes. Yes, it should.
Brandy?
Is Seth freaking Rollins in the match? Then no.
Then no. I mean, John Cena's not in the match either. You know what I mean?
I'm just going off top build. That guy's a WrestleMania main eventer, right?
That's true too. But let's be honest. We already know it's main eventing, and we're gonna get to that match. But fellas, who do you guys got? And is this a margarita match for you?
I don't know. The women's Money in the Bank usually cooks more than the men's.
100%.
100%. And I got Naomi. That's my winner this year.
Because it's Naomi.
Because it is Naomi.
I remember a couple months ago, I told Brendan, I said, look at this in WWE Shop. And it was the caution taped Money in the Bank. And then it was took down. And I said, so Naomi's winning Money in the Bank.
And she's the betting's favorite right now, and I'm pretty sure it's for that reason. Because the picture they showed for bettor's favorite, like this betting website for the Money in the Bank winner, was Naomi in the caution tape outfit, and I was like, they know what I know.
That's true
Now-
too. That's true too. Don't sleep on Little Miss Bliss though.
I think they could do a swerve and give it to Roxanne with all the controversy she just had.
Nah.
I don't know if you guys heard about all that crazy stuff that's happening to her, but they might just throw it on her.
What happened to her?
There's a Twitter account that's dedicated to killing her. It's real fucked up.
What
It's
the
real
hell?
Yeah, it's real creepy. It's fucking weird. They arrested some
They
dude
leaked her
at
address
NXT.
and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, they arrested somebody on NXT after the show was over.
Was it because of the whole Dominic Mysterio situation?
Nobody really knows. It's just
Nobody
like a
really
full
knows.
account.
This just this random account, man. It's really weird. It's really creepy. Whoever it is.
Come on, Martin. Let's go find this guy.
I'll fuck him up.
Let's go fuck him up.
This man's bad name.
No, I don't. Man, if Roxanne wins, that's a turn right there in the Judgment Day, though.
They gotta do something.
That's a turn right there in the Judgment Day. That's looking at Liv Morgan like, yeah, what are you doing? I could see Roxanne. That'd be interesting. But definitely not a margarita match. Let's move on to the men's. We got Solo Sikoa, LA Knight, Penta, Andrade, El Grande Americano, and Seth freaking Rollins. This just tells me Seth Rollins is winning this. This is not a margarita match for me. Nate Ram, I already know you got El Grande Americano.
I do. I think I got him to win, but you guys don't understand the way that I pray for Andrade to get this.
I know you pray. And I really want to.
Andrade's in it like every time he's in the roster, he's in the Money in the Bank just to lose. Stop it.
He's
That's
Shelton
you.
Benjamin, but
It's like Ricochet. You know he's not gonna win, but he gonna cook.
I want him to win.
Do you think these 5 guys are ready to be in a ladder match that includes tables sometimes and other ladders with Penta? Because if you go look at Penta's track history, that man wilds out on some ladder matches. I mean, he wilds out. Brandy, when we were at your house, remember that move with Dante Martin that cost Dante Martin his ankle?
Yes.
Wild. That was
Yes, it
wild.
was.
So I don't think these 5 guys really know what they're stepping into when it comes to Penta and some ladder matches. You know what I mean? Because be prepared to take some spots. That's all I'm going to say.
That's Slim Jim tables now.
Isn't it funny that like me and Martin have this ongoing running theory about Andrade and Penta not being liked by AAA, but like they're just not even on that card. They just go straight to Money in the Bank card. Like, I don't know, man. They got some truth to our theory, but man, so the way I look at the match is who's gonna have the dopest briefcase, and between Penta and a Bloodline briefcase, I don't know, man. I kind of hope Solo wins.
A visionary briefcase?
Can we address the elephant in the room though? Never count out LA Knight.
I will.
I'm counting him out.
I don't need to see LA Knight win the Money in the Bank and cash in on Jacob Fatu.
LA Knight is the reason why the Knicks lost.
Never forget that John Cena is going to win the Money in the Bank. So it doesn't really matter. All 6 guys going to look stupid.
We have a women's Intercontinental Championship match, Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch.
Go get my margarita.
If Becky loses, she can never challenge for the IC title again. If she wins, Lyra Valkyria has to raise her hand. I got Becky Lynch because why would you put her in a predicament like that so early? But I do think this match is going to cook. And I think it's going to be better than our first one. What do you got, Brandy?
I think it's a win-win for Becky. Like, if she wins the title, she wins the title. If she loses the stipulation, she never has to go back down to the mid-card title. So
True.
with that in mind, I think Lyra wins.
Nate Ram?
I don't care, man. This is a stupid
I
stipulation.
genuinely don't care.
You're gonna raise my hand. That's what you come up with? Like, at least Lyra's like, yeah, you're never gonna fight for this title again. That's cool. But you're gonna raise my hand, and you know it's gonna be something stupid. It's gonna be Becky locks into this armor, really messes up her arm, and then she can't raise her hand. And she's gonna be like, no, you have to raise it. And she's gonna be in so much pain trying to lift Becky's hand. Becky Lynch wins. There it is.
Maybe she'll lift it with her wing. With her wings
You know
on,
what?
just like
I like Lyra better when she had wings. She hasn't had wings lately.
she's got all that fog coming out now. They're using all that demon fog for Seth Rollins and his crew and Lyra Valkyria since Finn Balor doesn't want to use it anymore. All right, let's talk about this main event. Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, John Cena, Logan Paul. I got John Cena, Logan Paul, and a few margaritas. Nit Ram?
Got John Cena cashing in his Money in the Bank on Jey Uso to win. 18-time champ.
This guy is damn John Cena winning the Money in the Bank. Okay, Brandy.
It's just like every time he brings it up, I'm kind of like sold on it because I've seen Brock Lesnar do it so many times. I'm just like, why wouldn't Cena do it? But I got Logan and John Cena. I got Jey. As always, when it comes to Jey and Cody Rhodes, Jey will take that pin.
You know what? Logan's another one who could just climb up the briefcase and grab it, and nobody will say nothing. He'll be prime in the bank.
I wouldn't like that.
I genuinely think no one in that match is going to win. I look at that match, and I'm like, it has to be Seth. And I'm like, you know what? None of them. None of them are going to win. It's going to be someone not in the match.
True.
American
PLE's right.
American Grande. And then
No, say that.
we need
Say that
to
one more time.
replace it. I said El Grande Americano. There we go. Doesn't show up for whatever reason, and we need a replacement.
It's John Cena.
It's John Cena.
It's Logan Paul.
AJ Styles.
Brock
Karrion
Lesnar.
Kross.
If it's Brock Lesnar, that'd be crazy.
Andre the Giant.
If it's Brock Lesnar, then he's definitely cashing in. We're getting Brock versus Gunther on Monday night.
Oh, what if it's
Obviously
Goldberg?
Hulk Hogan.
What if it's Goldberg and then Gunther beats Jey on Monday night?
Goldberg
And
comes
then
out
Goldberg-
turning off the TV, bro.
Oh man, wait, that's your PLE's Worlds Collide, Money in the Bank. You heard it here first. We gave you all our predictions. We gave you which ones you should drink your margaritas with, fellas. Let's move into our main event question of the evening.
It looks like all the talking has been done. It's time for the main event.
Main event question of the evening, fellas. With a bunch of focus on WWE's Evolve, is it safe to say that NXT is going from developmental to just being the third brand? Let's start with Nitram.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say. I think with LFG and Evolve both focusing on developing and especially Evolve, which is part of the ID program, which is grabbing the indie stars and forming them into WWE status, I think it's safe to say that NXT will just become the third brand. You know, they had their GM, everything's going good. We're seeing more cross promotions in it, and the way that we used to see NXT stars kind of pop up and try to make a name for themselves on Raw or SmackDown, we're starting to see these Evolve people trying to make a name for themselves on NXT. I think it will be the C show, but the C show it will be.
Okay. Bernie, how you feeling? You think it's safe to say that Evolve is developmental and NXT can move on to being that third brand like people have been saying?
I gotta agree with Mike here. Evolve is the developmental, and NXT is the third brand. I feel like the way it's going, if you pay close attention, the way that NXT's been running is they've been taking superstars from other promotions, like all the AEW guys that are coming in, like I was mentioning earlier, and putting these guys in a higher light. And I think that makes it easier to extend it to a third brand, because you could take that, like these guys are established veterans in their own right, but they're quote unquote undevelopmental doesn't necessarily sit right. It's always been our issue.
Right.
But if you're trying to establish that it's not developmental, it's the perfect move to have these people. I think what they need to start doing is focusing on getting more veterans on NXT with these young people and developing. While it's still, like he says, the C show, it's still developmental. It's still that SmackDown, that like SmackDown was being ran by Paul Heyman with the young guys and a couple established vets. That's what NXT needs to do. They've already been on path with that, so I think they're on the right track. And I think that within the next, we say it every year, within the next year, but I genuinely think within the next year it's going to become a third brand.
I agree. I agree with both of you. I think it is NXT is getting there, and I think Brandy, myself, and Chano have been saying NXT is not developmental anymore. It's pushing that way. It's been pushing that way. Nick Rand's been telling us y'all are crazy. It's developmental. It's developmental. Trick Williams is there. It's developmental.
That was
But now,
the times.
But now TNA also
That
can be
means-
considered developmental.
Developmental.
You know what I mean? Maybe you go Evolve, TNA, NXT. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I think with NXT, and I've always said this, they just got to include them in the draft. Like a fresh start draft, or you start drafting from Evolve straight up, just like each person gets 3 picks. Bam, we're starting to take Evolve kids. Because the draft kind of solidifies them as a brand, because Ava wasn't part of the draft, so she couldn't even save her own superstars in a sense. You know what I mean? And I think it would be a big move if it was like, we're adding NXT to the draft, and then, all right, who's your first draft pick? And Ava sits there and she goes, I want former NXT champion Finn Balor. Former NXT champion, a lot of them left, but Charlie, who's still around, that was former NXT champion. Finn Balor.
Shinsuke
Nakamura. There's so many of these names that aren't doing nothing on the main roster, but have this legacy in NXT. And if you're developing as a third brand, you bring them down and you immediately have them go like, yeah, this is my show.
So it's funny because, like, I think on Tuesday, me and Nick Ram were watching the show, and I asked him, I was like, if NXT were to become a third brand, what does that do for the title legacy? Do they start a brand new legacy, or do they start it with, like he said, you have the Finn Balors, you have all the former NXT champions, and do you keep those names in there to keep the legacy intact in the sense like, oh, all these guys like Bayley, all these main event stars were former champions, so it kind of holds that value?
I think you do keep history of it, right? You have to keep the history, because without those guys, you know what I mean, NXT probably continues to be a game show, that terrible game show that what it was, where we got Daniel Bryan out of, you know what I mean? Just it happens to just work for Daniel Bryan, but that was terrible. Was not good. So when they switched off of that, and then you have Triple H make it the black and gold brand, that's when you start saying, okay, this is when the history starts, right? Then you have the 2.0, and now you have NXT now. So I think the history has to follow it, no matter where it goes. Looking like a Mark brought up a great point too, where he says, I think the WWE system is more akin to the minor league in baseball, with different levels to developmental, like AA, AAA, and that makes sense too. That goes back to what I said. Maybe you go from Evolve, right, AA, then you move up to AAA or TNA, and then or maybe single A for Evolve, double A TNA, triple A NXT. Now you're in the minors main roster, main roster. But it's just weird because then technically, are you main roster on NXT if it is a third brand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if they, like I said, it's a full flush. We're doing a full draft, and the only people that weren't touched was Evolved and TNA because they probably own them, and AAA. Like these people are not allowed to be touched, but it's a fresh, full-on draft. You can mix up the entire rosters, and you can make it the third brand that it needs to be.
Yeah, I think like if you were to do it right, you have to give NXT some keepers.
True.
Which, like, I know sometimes they do the championship keepers, but I feel like NXT probably needs at least like 3 men and 3 women keepers just to hold their brand, and then release everybody else up to the.
I agree. Well, fellas, with that being said, that is our show. You already know what it is. Get your plugs out there. Let everybody know where they can find you guys.
I have one thing to say. Fuck the Pacers. I can't believe they won game 1. What the fuck?
It'd be like that. It'd be like that. I had to hear the fuck the Pacers part. That's why I stopped the outro. Go
I
ahead,
just
Nate
can't
Ram.
believe it.
You can catch me on Twitter at NITRAM_4SOTR. That's NITRAM_4SOTR. Where I tweet Westside Gun every day if he's going to come to WrestleCade. Also, we're on the lookout. Is Miz going to keep his job? We love the Miz.
We do love the Miz. The Miz is fantastic. You can follow me at the Founder MH, but most importantly, please follow us on all of our social media platforms. We are on IG, 4 Sides of the Ring podcast. We are on X, 4 Sides OTR. We're on Blue Sky. I don't think we're on it much, but you can also follow us on YouTube. So if you're chilling with us right now, hit that like button, subscribe, make sure you never miss an episode with my guys here. Most importantly, enjoy Money in the Bank, enjoy Worlds Collide, enjoy Friday Night SmackDown, and always remember, if you are not enjoying wrestling, just not watching it right, we'll catch you guys next week.